I'm good.
All right, yep.
Sitting here.
Good.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This week we are man. Listen. I said something about this in a post a few days ago that I posted. We got Jason on here now. If y'all don't know the man, the myth, the legend, Jason, I first met this guy a few months ago, back at the final. No, I believe actually I met you in Nashville several months ago, but
We did.
yeah. And then formally kind of more introduced, sat down and had a conversation at HTK. Highly enjoyed. Kind of telling others that I really love the stories that you're able to tell. I can't help but to get captured in it. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to spread some of that today. And telling other people about, what's going on with HTK. And then we'll kind of see where this conversation goes. But I got me. Y'all know me. We got Brady. We got Jason. We may have some more PBZ members show up later. Never know. You know how the guys are. Sometimes they pop in, they pop out. But yeah, man, if I can get right into the meat and potatoes, man. HTK. All of us love that field. We went to the finals. Was a amazing turnout at the finals. That was probably the coolest event for that in the domination game held at Charles Outdoor. Was the most amazing time of Airsoft that I've had so far. Keeping that on me. I don't know if the other guys yet, but
How many people did we have at the indoor?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know, but it was countless. 100 something, 120, 130, maybe just in players, maybe give or take. I don't even remember how many teams it was, but thinking of subs and stuff like that, I mean, it was a lot. I didn't get a head count.
And they don't even count open play people.
Yeah, and then open play, for the domination game was, oh man, that was gnarly. That was the gnarliest thing ever. And not to mention, I mean, we got to see a team that a lot of us know, a lot of us kind of look up to, is SYG. So we got to play with them as well. Got to meet Roy and play with Demo and Sapo and Marty, and it was nice. Rooster's a trip. I like Rooster a lot. He's a monster with an airsoft gun.
Sosa?
Yeah, Sosa is awesome, dude. That guy is too cool. But yeah, man, that was an amazing event.
Great.
But yeah, man, if you can tell me anything you want to on the HTK, like, hey, how did HTK get started? Like, what's the backbone to this?
So, gosh, man, I guess I'd have to go back 3 years. I mean, do we have that much time? I could get pretty long-winded, Steve.
We have that much time.
We have all the time in the world.
So my two youngest, Harrison and Kate, they're homeschooled, and so we're, we've got a 160-acre farm here in southern Indiana, and Kate trains horses, and Harrison makes bows, and they both do mounted archery, and they're both world-class musicians. I don't know if you guys know that about them, but Harris plays mean guitar, piano. Kate plays drums, mad drums, piano. And in fact, we were just rehearsing for a competition that we're going to be in on Saturday called the Rock Lotto in downtown Jasper, where we, kind of where we live. And so we're just kind of doing cool stuff, since they don't go to school. Right, they just kind of have the run of the farm, and we try to educate them in doing other things. We travel a lot, and our places, cause horses and the ponds that we have and hunting and all that stuff. Our place has always kind of been the place where other kids like up and down. And so I guess about 3 years ago, Harris would have been about 13 because he just had a birthday. He just turned 17 last week. And I don't know, on a Sunday, it seemed like a couple Sundays in a row, there were like a dozen kids over here, like all day running around the front yard doing something. And usually you get a dozen kids together. There's like a fist fight at some point, right? But none of that was happening. So it got about like the second or third week. I said, "Hey, what are you guys doing out there?" And he said, "We're playing airsoft." And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "Well, it's kind of like paintball. You would know it like paintball, and the BBs are real small." So I thought, when I heard airsoft, I thought it was like little Nerf BBs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I saw the BB one time, and I thought it was like a little foam Nerf thing, right? All right, no big deal. Then when I realized it was a hard BB, I thought, well, you guys are going to get hurt. And, I'd have gotten grounded for that, right? And, but here's these kids out there, and, 6 turned into 12, and 12 turned into 15, and 15 turned into 20. And after about 4 or 5 Sundays in a row, these guys would go for 10 hours, running around the 5 acres just around the house, what we call the DMZ now. It's, the house and the 5 acres, the barns and the, outbuildings around the farm. And I'd call them in for lunch. I'd make, 20 grilled cheese sandwiches for them or a big pot of chili, and I'd feed them, and then they'd run back out. And nobody got hurt. Nobody got mad, right? And nobody, there weren't any fights. And it was just kind of cool. And I thought, yeah, man, this seems kind of like a pretty cool activity. And then out of nowhere, Harrison figures out YouTube. And he starts talking about this Novertich guy from Austria, right?
Yeah.
He's talking about this Novertich guy. Dad, you got to check out this Novertich guy. He's like, he takes these springs and he puts these springs in these Tokyo Maru sniper rifles and makes them shoot really far. And so, I was only about half interested. I just kind of looked at the videos just basically out of deference, to my boy because, trying to show me something. But it looked kind of cool because, he didn't understand how to pronounce Novrich. He was saying Novertich, right? Because that's kind of how it looks to a 13-year-old boy. And but this Novrich cat and his little sniper buddy Fabi, right? They're they're in Austria somewhere, and they're like, they're doing it, and that was kind of cool. And then one day I get home from work, and he's talking about Dad. Novrich, he figured out how to pronounce it. He said, man, he's coming out with his own sniper rifle. It's called an SSG-24. I really want it. It's $700, but I've saved up my money. Can I get this gun? Okay, so now it's real, right? I mean, just went from playing with little Springer pistols out in the front yard to now, I didn't spend $700 on my Henry Golden Boy 30-30, right? He wants to spend $700 on a BB gun, and so that discussion took about a week. But he had the money, and he'd worked and saved up, and he ordered the gun, and waited 9 months for this thing to show up, right? So think about what you were doing on Airsoft 3 years ago. How old are you, Steve?
I'm 33.
So, Brady, how about you?
I'm 21.
And
all right,
Mason's on here with us as well.
Yeah, and I'm 20.
Mason? So think about where you guys were in Airsoft 3 years ago, okay? Because it kind of relate to the story here. So he waits for 9 months for this gun to show up, right? And he orders an extra spring with it because he's going to upgrade the spring. He's waiting and he's waiting and he's waiting. Finally, the day shows up. The gun shows up. He's the happiest 13-year-old boy on the planet. I'm telling you. The first thing he does, he takes this thing out of the box, and this was on the first run. Okay, this was the SSG-24 first run. Okay, they didn't have any in the country. He got in on the first run of Novrich's SSG-24. He bought an upgraded spring, like a 500, FPS or something, and we took it apart. And you think about now, like, how fast you can tear your gun down and do something to it. We were scared to put a screwdriver. Terrified to put a screwdriver on it.
$700.
I'm telling you, man. We got this thing laid out, And he's like, don't turn it too hard. Don't strip the threads. It was a big deal. So he's trying to put this upgraded spring in, and he does. And when he puts it back together, he puts a long screw where the short screw should have been, and he bends the cylinder when he's putting this gun back together. And now he can't pull the bolt back, and it's ruined. And you've never seen a sadder little boy in your life. I mean, he went from being the happiest kid on the planet to just being totally crushed and devastated, all in the span of about an hour. I mean, it was heartbreaking. And, what do you do, I mean, if it was a Tippmann product, you could run up to Fort Wayne, or if it was, even something that Evic had, you could try to get, but I mean, there was nothing you could do. The gun came from Austria, right? Or, wherever they made it. I mean, he just waited 9 months. There was nothing we could do about it. And I'm desperate not desperate, but, I really wanted to ease his pain. So I said, hey, call the guy up, email him. Oh, no, you can't. He's in Austria. He's not even in Austria right now. He's in L.A. at Airsoft Con. And I said, well, Airsoft Con? What? You mean it's like an airsoft convention? It's like a convention for this stuff? He said, yeah. It's at the world's largest airsoft store, a place called Evic. And in L.A. And, of course, I'm having a hard time getting my mind around this, right? Because, again, I'm just, these are like little Springer pistols from Walmart. I get online, and sure enough, there's this place called Evic, and it's massive. Like almost like a Walmart store, floor to ceiling, full of cool airsoft stuff. And I called and they said, yeah, we're having the Airsoft Con. It starts the day after tomorrow. And I said, is this an average kid gonna be there? I thought he was a kid. He's like 30 or something, right? But they said, yeah, he's got a booth here. He'll be here. So I hung up the phone, and I didn't tell Harris, but I bought 2 tickets to LA that night. And the next morning I said, hey, listen, break this gun down, put it in a suitcase, let's fly to Airsoft Con tomorrow. We'll see if Novers can fix this thing for you. So we're on a plane the next day, and we get off the plane at LAX, we rent a car, we cruise over to Evic. No, we cruise to our hotel. And the reaction to Harrison was pretty cool, right? Because he had, even though we traveled a lot, when I said that, hey, I bought 2 tickets to L.A., we're going to go to, he said, he had the most shocked look on his face. He says, that's really a thing? That's like really a thing that we could do? I said, yeah, that's a thing. So we get out there, and we stand in line to meet Novridge. And I don't know how many Novridge videos you guys have watched, if you guys are into that kind of thing or not, but he's got that real cool Arnold Schwarzenegger accent because they're both from Austria, right?
Yeah.
And so we step up, stand in line for an hour, to meet the guy. Harrison's got his gun, and Harrison says, hi, I'm Harrison. And Novridge says, here's what this kid's, and I'm telling you, there's like thousands of people out there, right? And this Novridge guy, here's what he says. He says, oh, yes, Harrison from Indiana. You bent your cylinder. I received your email. And we were like blown away that like, here's this guy gets this email while he's out in L.A. I mean, the guy couldn't have been any busier. And here's what he says. He says, does anyone have a Leatherman tool? And somebody in line throws him a Leatherman tool, one of those like Swiss Army knives with pliers on it, basically. Yeah. And this Novridge cat takes down this SSG-24 with a borrowed Leatherman tool in about 15 seconds, and he assesses the damage. He assesses what he knew to be the problem, and told Harrison, this is no big deal. I'll have a new cylinder in the mail tonight, and I'll call back and I'll have him send you. You'll have it when you get home, and I'll put some extra screws in there for you too. And within 48 hours, Harris was the happiest kid in the world, the saddest kid in the world, and then the happiest kid in the world again. And it was more about just wanting my kid to be happy. It was about since he's homeschooled, there's a lot of opportunities to learn stuff out in the real world. That's where we're all going to end up, right?
Right.
Is out in the real world, right? So you're raising somebody's future husband, you're raising somebody's future father. You need to know how to solve problems, and so that was real time, real life problem solving right there. And I was struck by how cool that was. That this guy that had thousands of people around him pawing at him for his attention just took the time to solve a serious problem for a stranger that he didn't even know, but somebody that he kind of took under his wing. And I thought, this is pretty cool. And so it just gave me a real good feeling about this is probably a good group of people to be around. And, while we were out there, we met Jonathan Higgs from Airsoftology. We met the House Gamers guy. We met Jet. We met Leah. We met Dutch. At the same time we were out there, Alphonse was out there, but he wasn't really Alphonse, he was just another dude, right? And so that was kind of cool. Alphonse told the story. But while we were out there, we met Amanda from G&G. We met Andy Yoshida from Lancer Tactical. We just met everybody. We met the owner of Condor. Everybody's got a booth out there, and everybody was just so accommodating. Now, of course, they are, because this is their annual convention where they want to peddle their wares. But when we left, we left with the full intention of taking this airsoft thing to a new level. And when we came home, we had a completely different perspective than we had when we left. We left to solve a problem with his gun. We came back with a new problem, or with a new mission, and that was how to bring airsoft to the Midwest. Which, while we were out there, we were sitting in Amanda's, the owner of G&G's, conference room, and Jonathan Higgs came in and sat down. And you want to talk about somebody who knows everything about airsoft. I don't know if you guys know who Airsoftology is, John.
Yeah.
He came in. Yes, he came in and he was super cool. He was talking to us, and he said, "So where are you?" And I said, "Indiana." And he said, "Desert. That's an airsoft desert." But he didn't have to think. He knew instantaneously that that Indiana was an airsoft desert, right? That nothing's really going on there.
Yeah.
And he just really was able to offer us just a whole lot of insight. So that's how we got the airsoft bug. And on the plane ride home, Harrison's wheels are spinning, and my wheels were spinning. And when the plane landed, he and I got off the plane, and we hit the ground running.
That's a mission. I mean, and to think of what it's turning into already, just the facility that y'all have alone, just the building and then the land. And what you said, I don't know too much on Indiana. I'm down here in Kentucky, over on the west end of it. And we have an ACS here. We have and that's, which is huge in comparison. Solid field, really good place. It really is. Draws in a lot of people. But other than that, you're really not touching anything besides ACS until you get to, what do you think, Brady? Nashville is probably the closest thing other than here.
I know there's all over Kentucky. There's a lot of smaller like groups that are maybe 30 guys.
Yeah, like
get together once a month or so. But other than that, I mean, as far as large fields go, I mean,
yeah, you got
ACS is about really all you got. I mean, especially on the western side of the state. I can't speak much on the eastern side of the state.
True.
How big is ACS?
I mean, our open plays are typically what, anywhere from like 70 to 90 people
Yeah, I'd say 80 people is common denominator on that one, about average.
on your weekly.
See,
I mean,
that's
you get some larger events like
that's a
charity
nice.
events or Halloween events or the anniversary. I mean, the anniversary we had over 300 this year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so
And that was in the rain.
That's wonderful.
and that was even that event was in the rain and we still were able to keep 300 people.
Hey, wait a minute. There's no rain in Airsoft.
I mean, you're right. You're
That
right.
was a monsoon. That's what that was.
I mean, some of our teammates' trigger boards and other electronics of their guns may like to disagree, but yeah, there is no rain in Airsoft. I guess
That's right.
true.
We was still out there. We was committed.
Yeah. Our first trip at Ballahak, we went to Ballahak probably, I'd say, let's see. So we went to, well, I can tell you exactly. So we were in LA in October. So November, December, January, February, March. 5 months later, H and I went to Ballahak for a Nokri event. And it rained nonstop. And my memory of the play didn't include the rain at all. Like, when I think back about the time we were at Ballahak, I think about, that real cool MiG that's there. And I think about, the pond. And, I just think about the awesome play that we had. But then when we go back and watch the videos, it's pouring down rain. I forgot all about it.
Yeah, you get so caught up in the moment. There's been plenty of times we've sat out there and it'd be, a pretty decent rain. I mean, heck, I've posted videos of, Airsoft in the rain kind of thing. And we usually play it. The majority of the time, I mean, we'll run around out there in cleats. We anticipate it being wet. We anticipate, a lot. Which is, I mean, ACS has been a miracle to us. It's the field that, well, I speak for majority of us, not all of us, kind of got started.
I'm always sit there and hold my breath and not provide my opinion.
It's definitely the thing that brought PPZ to fruition.
Absolutely. And we was just a group of guys out there, like literally we just played together, and then we was eventually just like, hey, we're going to put a name to us, and that's where it took off.
And as silly as it sounds, the roots of the team honestly came from not even the interest in going to tournaments or anything. We were all just a group of guys hanging out, and we were tired of getting split up and put on two different teams.
Yeah, we formed a team and just kind of, we was a group of homies that played together, and then we just started. And we said our very first BQB tournament was last June, when I think it was last June or July, when SYG come down to Nashville. Me and one of my teammates we knew they was coming, so we was like, we're gonna go down there. Next thing we know, we're a group of 5, we're going, and now we're competing. And once we got a taste of it, now not all of us, but the majority of us love to play it. We have an A and B group.
Yeah, I was about to say it was no time before a group of 5 turned into a group of 10.
Yeah, and it's something. It's my favorite way to play.
So are you talking about when SYG came to Nashville?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the very first time we had ever touched the format of SpeedQB.
Yeah. That, dude, you guys, that's incredible to me, man, because you guys are legit. And if that was that just seems like yesterday to me.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago.
Yeah, it wasn't long, man.
No.
I mean, really, that day was even for some of our teammates. I'm pretty sure that was the first time that some of them had played in an indoor airsoft facility, or really anywhere besides ACS.
Yeah. And we played there a couple times beforehand, but once it kind of came to that point of, competing like that, a few of us we took off running, and we just fell in love with it, and we've been to every tournament since then. And I mean, we even went to the finals, qualified to go to the finals, where we was at your facility at HTK. We haven't been down to SS yet, and we just had this recent one with Shot Zone. Shout out to them. That's going to be an amazing facility, and I mean, we plan on taking this as far as we can. We love to play outside. All of us do, but there's just something about playing Speaky B for me and a couple others. It's just amazing.
What? So let's talk a little bit about Shot Zone. I resent the name Shot Zone just a little bit because when and listen, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. Okay, it's a great name, but when Kenny Patrick was putting a shout out to, hey, we've got this new field, it's getting ready to open. I want everybody to throw their hat in the ring, and I want everybody to try to come up with the best name. So everybody was like giving this name and that name, and they were all kind of cool sounding. I came up with Valhalla, and for those of you who don't know, Valhalla is the heaven that the Vikings go to if they die in battle. And so Kenny was like, "That's it. It's Valhalla Airsoft. It's Valhalla Airsoft." So every time he put out the Valhalla, and I'm like, "Hey, I should get to play there for free since I named the place, right?" And then somebody's coming up with Shot Zone, and I'm like, "Hey, wait a minute. We've already had this discussion."
Yeah, I think the Shot Zone is more or less to kind of draw into the kids and stuff like that with the because they do have the gel blasters, and some of those kids, man, they're going to be yeah, it's totally insane. Some of them kids are going to definitely be the upcoming next airsoft players for sure.
So I want to talk just a little bit about Shot Zone if we can, and in all seriousness. One of the things that we experienced when we opened up HTK, first we opened up HTK Outdoor on our farm, and then I own this 50,000 square foot 3-story building in Jasper, which is 15 minutes south of our outdoor facility, and that kind of came after. But after we opened up the outdoor and started having some legit games, we learned after we got going that there were a couple other fields around. There was a little field in up by Indy, and then there was a field in Bloomington, and we didn't realize that playing airsoft on our farm was going to rub some people the wrong way. It just didn't occur to us. After our super cool experience at Airsoft Con, we just felt so warm and fuzzy about everybody playing airsoft that it didn't even occur to us that we might be ruffling somebody's feathers for starting up an airsoft facility. We didn't even know that any existed in Indiana. And the two that did exist, they're just kind of little, one's kind of a little paintball field, and the other one was, kind of an airsoft field. But man, there was some intense acrimony that resulted from us starting HTK Outdoor. This is before the indoor facility. So much so that in April, when we hosted our first event through a friend of ours, Brian Mounts, with the Disciples of Airsoft, there was a fella who called the governor's office and OSHA and the sheriff and the state police.
Wow.
And he was with another field, and he by grab was not going to have us hosting an event. And he kind of was airsoft in Indiana, and he'd been doing it longer than anybody else and knew more about, because apparently he hadn't played in years. But this guy was absolutely not going to allow it. And I remember 2 days before the event, the sheriff called and said, "Hey, Jason, we're still playing airsoft day after tomorrow, aren't we?" And I said, "Yeah, we are." He said, "I got some idiot calling me up saying he's going to send state police out here. Me and my deputies expect to get to play." And I said, "No, you guys can still play. It's still on." But that was one of the things that we kind of had to learn the hard way, is that it's not all this warm and fuzzy community. And so I could tell you about Kenny Patrick. Kenny Patrick, who's partnering with this other guy at Shot Zone and Valhalla. He's never come across that way. He's always come across as somebody who's true blue, to the sport and to the community. And he's part of Known Enemy, and he's played probably more at Sean Ali's field just west of Indianapolis. Creekside Airsoft it is another one, and these guys do nothing but truly, honestly, truly support the community and other players. So that's kind of how we thought it was, and we kind of sadly learned the hard way that there's some people that they're not about supporting the community. They're not about airsoft. They're about what airsoft means to them, or what airsoft is going to do for them, or their buddy that owns the field. And there's competition. To me, the competition needs to be on the field. The worst airsoft field I've ever been to was freaking awesome. I mean, that Brushy Mountain event, a lot of people complained about that. ACS was out there. I met them. They took their pro shop out there, and we got some stuff from them. And, people complained about that because of this and that. You always get these people who complain. But, I kind of said, look, man, I'm out here. I live in America, first of all, where I get to do cool stuff like this. I live in a time where I could probably survive cancer, right? I get to go to church or not go to church wherever I want without fear of being killed. Money's good, right? I really don't have anything to complain about at all. So when Kenny talked about opening up this thing, that can only be good for the sport and be good for each team. It can only create more players, and that's what we need. We need more players, and we need more teams. Basketball isn't fun if you're just playing with yourself, right?
Facts.
It's kind of boring. You kind of need other people to play with, right? And so, I'm really looking forward to getting up there. We have every intention of being there on the 15th.
It's gonna be awesome to see y'all. We're gonna go back up there. I think we're gonna go up the 4th, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I think so. That's the plan.
We had a couple players that
of December.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go up there on the 4th. That's when everybody's wanting to go up. So we're gonna try to
go 4th.
Yeah, December 4th.
All right.
I think the 4th.
All right.
What, Mason?
I didn't see his thing move, but I wasn't looking. He might have us muted.
Probably.
It's what you said though with Kenny. He is very, very encouraging to other players. It is definitely an awesome thing they got going on up there. When we went there last week, it was nothing but welcoming arms for the sport itself. I'm amazed for them, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they get to do with this field. I got a lot of joy for them. Hopefully, someday we'll be able to kind of get something going on like that over here in the West Kentucky. Hopefully, we'll be able to. But we'll see, because our closest thing is Nashville. So if we even want to hint at the word SpeakyB, it's at least a 2-hour drive for us. It's about 4 hours to Martinsville, where we went.
So how far was it from you guys to HTK Indoor?
3 and some change.
It was about 3.5, 3 3/4, somewhere in there.
Yeah, 3 3/4.
Where did you guys stay when you came here for the tournament?
We drove up the night before, or the morning of, and then afterwards we stayed in the tents out at y'all's farm, at the outdoor.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we hung out. We hung out with Joker. That night.
With Joker. Yeah, I hung out with him and
Oh yeah, from the photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hung out with
yeah,
Houdini from Praetorians. He was out there with us for a while. They are a solid team. Them guys are awesome.
All right. Yeah, they are, man.
Yeah, I mean, we can't wait to eventually get back to come down there and play with y'all again. That indoor facility was. We seen a couple of videos.
What was your impression? What was your impression when you walked up to that third floor and saw it? What was your impression?
Honestly,
I was jealous I didn't get to play it.
It was surreal.
You could definitely hear my jaw hit the floor. That's what I'll say.
It was a very surreal moment because we all looked forward to it, and it was just like, I don't know, it was like a beacon of light for SpeakQB. We're just like, this place right here is legit. Is legit, yeah. So when we drove up there, I got to come up to 2 weekends in a row like that. It was.
Yeah, I'll definitely say that. It was kind of like a sigh of relief, like some weight off of our shoulders, because I know we had all only played at Nashville, and the previous setups of Nashville's course, was really, really narrow, and all the lanes were really, really narrow. And whenever you got to see that and see how open it was, like, it was, wow, it was just awesome.
Yeah, and Revelation was handing it to us for a good solid while. Coming off breakout, because it was a whole different ball game of trying to learn. Like he just said, we was more used to Nashville, where you could, you had structure pretty close by, and it was a different vibe, but it was complete. Just Revelation is an awesome team. We love that. I mean, I shout for them constantly. If we ain't playing them, and even if we do, when we've been beat by them, we are smiles. We do not mind at all. There's no saltiness. It ain't nothing but love. Every time. If I'm not, if we're not playing, I'm rooting for Rev.
What's your take on Casper?
She's a beast. She is a beast. Like, we all know it. We all watch for her, especially when she's playing Snake. We keep an eye out.
Don't peek her in Snake.
Yeah, don't peek her. She's a monster. We know it. She's a threat. Harrison's a threat. Caleb's a threat.
The whole team is a threat.
The whole team is a threat. We know it, and we know they're a solid team. Yeah. They're very humble with it, but they know. I think they know they're a good team.
They're very humble, but you can also tell that just the way that they carry themselves, they're all very confident. And that's a good thing, because that is a trait of a team that is ready to win and apply themselves how they know they should.
Yes. And I've said it plenty of times.
That's I appreciate you saying that. They're all very. They all have this code that they adhere to. They don't. They're a very easy team to sponsor, right? They're some teams. You kind of. If you're gonna sponsor somebody, as a sponsor, you don't want to have your name associated with a team that you have to worry about. Maybe they're gonna make a bad impression, or maybe they're gonna mouth off, or maybe they're not completely honest, or maybe they're not. You don't want to sponsor a team that does poorly in any aspect. You don't want to sponsor a team that loses every time, right? And you don't want to sponsor a team that is sloppy, or is lazy, or is late, or doesn't have a good work ethic, or maybe they have all those things. They're a winning team, or maybe they're they look good or something, but maybe they seem a little less than forthright, and that's the same with basketball or a tennis player, or whatever. You don't want to sponsor somebody that's not good, right? And Revelation has been a very easy team to sponsor, and we don't mind supporting that. We've taken that team to all over the place, and we don't mind spending the money on those guys. They're good. They're good kids to be around. And so I was just thinking, you guys came down a week before the tournament, didn't you?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. I remember now. Yeah.
We got our.
I remember now.
Yeah, we was definitely easy to remember the guys that's like, what are these guys doing playing Rev for the first hour, dying on breakout.
Oh, that's right. You guys were good sport. Oh, hey, listen. Something I was thinking about that you mentioned Nashville, and I thought about when we went down to Nashville the first time to play. Rev went down and they won that first tournament.
Yeah.
And then the second tournament that we were down there, I don't know, it came in second or third or something. And then the third time we were down there, that's when they did that mad rush on MNR. Were you guys down there for that?
That was the second
all
tournament we had ever been to. I'm pretty sure, or at least the second tournament with y'all there.
It was awesome.
So did you see that? Did you see that mad rush?
Oh yeah,
yes. We all saw it.
We was hype.
We were amazed.
So it's kind of interesting what happened there. Kate got a little confused in the end, and she ended up walking over to the kill box to be with the rest of her team because she had taken out Rain in the end of that and won the match, right? Or won not the match, but won the round. The round, yeah. But because she walked over to the box, they thought she was out.
Yeah.
And in the confusion, she didn't realize that the refs called her out. She just walked out of that round thinking that we had won. And she's very assertive with her play style, but she's not argumentative, right?
Right.
And plus, it was, too late to go back anyway, but we'd planned that out. That was actually my idea. I said, hey guys, you know what would be cool is next time you guys play MNR, because MNR was the team to beat, right? When we first went to Nashville for the first time, the refs were all like, man, you guys, this same team wins every time. This same team wins every time. You guys need to stick it in these guys if you can, And we didn't know who anybody was, and we actually didn't end up playing them the first time. Somebody else played them and beat them, and then we beat those guys. And so, but then once we'd circled back around for the third time, I thought, it'd be cool to do. And Caleb named that move Mississippi Queen, and the reason he named it Mississippi Queen is because part of that move was to, when the buzzer went off, what do you do when the buzzer goes off? You immediately bolt for your position, right?
Right. Yeah.
So we needed to time it so that you didn't bolt for your position. You counted one Mississippi and let them get to their position and then do the mad rush. So we've kind of been waiting for somebody to pull that on us, right? So when's that going to happen?
Funny story, that now that you say that, we were all there watching that, and when we did it, and we saw the buzzer hit, and we saw everybody on Rev take a drop step. We were like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, is it?
And then we saw that, and we were all like, "Oh, that is awesome."
Yeah, we was all hyped.
I'm not even gonna lie. Whenever we went to play, we got to I believe the semifinals of the East Coast Regional Final, and we got to that second round, and I looked at Steve and I go, what do you think about doing the drop step rush? So it was definitely in the thought process. We almost did it, but we decided against it because we didn't think the outcome would be very, very profitable for us in that situation. But it definitely crossed the minds of at least me and Steve.
Yes.
Well, it was fun. It was really fun to do it, and afterwards. I forget what that one little kid's name is that's on MNR, But I said, what'd you think about that? And then one kid goes, well, scared the hell out of me. I didn't know what was happening. And then the little kid said, he said, I saw it coming. He said, I think I peed a little bit.
Yeah, that was a boss moment.
So they were pretty gracious. They were pretty gracious about it. It was some pretty good theater. Yeah. So when's the next? I don't know. When's the next tournament? Is there another tournament coming up?
Yeah, but I believe Nashville is still doing a tournament on the 4th. But I think majority of our squad is wanting to go up there and check out Shot Zone before we have that the tournament there in January.
Yep.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Which
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if we're planning to attend. We hadn't really talked about it much. Or is Nashville still having theirs on the first Saturday of the month in January? Are we going to try to hit that, or are we just going to try to isolate January to Shot Zone?
That's a good question. I don't have a new calendar yet.
Yeah, I don't either. I'd have to look on my phone, but we can talk about that later. But that might be the next one that we hit. I
It's
guess.
possible. I think the 15th of January is the third Saturday.
Here, I got a calendar right here. Yeah, the first Saturday is New Year's Day. So.
Yeah, I'd be lucky to.
So yeah, I doubt they would have it on New Year's Day. They'll probably move it to the 8th. We can always get in contact with Ethan and find out for sure.
I would like, I mean, because we have, we've talked about it a few times, especially me and Esmond. Me and Esmond talk a lot, so it's talking about some plans of things to do in 2022.
I know it's definitely in the plans to hit up CartCon or some kind of outdoor trip again sometime soon. Maybe we'll have to go hit up HTK Outdoor sometime.
Absolutely. I think the schedule for 2022 is going to be pretty hype. We're all about playing Nashville's. Mostly at a lot of the convenience because we are so far from everybody, and it's hard to get everybody.
Right, yeah.
And Nashville is something, it's just shy of 2 hours, I think, at 85,
Yeah, and it's just enough where we can day trip it without having to stay overnight. We get home at 2 in the morning most nights, but it's still reasonable.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, man! You got to spend the night. You got to spend the night in Nash Vegas. I would never go to Nashville without spending the night. I mean, that just wouldn't be cool, man.
We've yet to do it. We just always drive back. Yeah, Brady's pretty
I got
cool.
a funny story about
It's always a pack up as quick as you can, get in the truck, and hope you can last your hunger until we get to Clarksville at Exit 4 to have cookout.
That's right. It's a ritual.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Cook. So ours is. I'll tell you what our restaurant is, and next time we're down there, man, you guys got to maybe try to check this out with us if you can. It's what's it called? It's called the Sun Diner, and they've got the best chicken and waffles in the world.
Definitely gonna have to keep that in
Right
mind.
on. What is it? It's right down there on Broadway. It's not on Broadway. It's just off Broadway. Have you guys ever been down there on Broadway where all the bars are? Have you guys checked out?
Yeah.
It's been a while, but I've been down there.
I haven't been there.
It's like the Strip in Vegas, man. You got to check it out. Next time we're all there in Nashville, let's try to cruise over there, man, and get some chow.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Hey, I'll tell you what they've had the last few times at these Nashville tournaments. We've been getting there and playing the open plays before the tournaments, and during the midday, they've had food trucks right down there past the indoor karting place, in that big parking lot, and they've had probably 6 or 10 food trucks every time. It's been great.
Yeah, they got some killer food down there.
They had a pizza truck down there last time we were down.
Yeah, we've been hitting up the mac and cheese trucks. Those have been pretty good.
Yeah, they're thunder for real. They're good.
Almost makes me want to take a nap.
So when in 2022, we're gonna set a set schedule for practice tournaments at HTK.
Mm-hmm.
and
Ooh.
we want to do them at a time when Nashville's not having theirs, and when Shot Zone's not having theirs, so that we can kind of get a circuit going. You know,
Man, that would be awesome.
Also, when we had the tournament, the East Coast Championship, we sold 64 hotel rooms that weekend in Jasper.
Wow.
And so you have an event where you sell 40 hotel rooms or more. They give you certain hotels give you as an incentive. And again, they give you like 10 or 15% off. So we've worked out a deal with the hotels in Jasper where we get 15% off hotel stays with the promo code HTK. So when you guys come, make sure you let us know where you plan on staying. Of course, everybody can always camp out at the outdoor, which is just 15 minutes from the indoor. But sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes, hey, did you guys play that midnight game after domination? Did you go back to the indoor?
No, we didn't know anything of it.
So
we didn't find out.
So here's what Roy tells me, right? So after the domination round, Roy says, "Hey, you mind if we go back to the indoor and play a couple more rounds at the indoor?" Then I said, "Man," I said, "I'm technically supposed to shut that thing down by 11. So look, I'll give you the key. You can do kind of like a late night fight night kind of thing, fight club thing, underground speed QB until the cops show up. but you better limit it, right?
Chance worth taking.
So I just hired this guy. We just bought a restaurant, and I just hired this cook to work. And he said, "Hey, you own that Airsoft place over there in Jazz?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Man, what was going on there Labor Day weekend at 4 a.m? I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well," he said, I've seen all these guys come out of your building at 4 a.m, and they were all dressed like SWAT team members, man. It scared the hell out of all our neighbors."
That's awesome.
That's great. Yeah, I could definitely.
That was a good time. I really appreciated you guys coming for that, and it's.
We appreciated you having us, man. It was an awesome event. Y'all did a wonderful job.
Caleb spent a lot of time putting together a live streaming platform.
Oh yeah. We've been reviewing that.
World-class cameras. Huh?
We've been reviewing that footage on the YouTube channel. We got the links for it. We that was awesome, man.
Yeah, he did a really good job in cameras.
Yeah, he's a pro. He is. Guys, I'm gonna have to cut it. I'm gonna have to cut it loose. I've got to call my guys at 9 o'clock my time, and that's here in 3 minutes. I line everybody out at 9. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
We appreciate you coming on. Really do. It's always a pleasure, to be honest. Well, we look forward to anything we get to do with you and what's going on with HTK later on in the future. I'm sure you'll keep us updated. But again, thank you very much for joining us.
I will. And listen, thank you. We travel a lot and we see a lot of people who, do kind of the claim to fame thing on the Airsoft thing, but you guys are real players, and you guys are real. You guys are the real deal. Our whole team has commented about you guys and about your commitment to the craft, and it's always a pleasure to see people who are truly committed to the craft. And you guys surely are. So please keep up the good work, and thank you for your commitment to Airsoft.
Thank you for that, and we got you. It's what we love to do.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, guys, I'm out. Have a good one.
You too, man.
You too, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up there, Steve-O.
Well, sure. I'll give it the wrap up since he's leaving, anyways. For y'all that are still watching, man, we always appreciate y'all. Always appreciate the involvement. Y'all's commitment to us is our commitment to y'all. To be the consistent one guys in the neighborhood that y'all might know, to keep up the podcast. We enjoy doing this. We enjoy interacting with y'all. And thank you, really, for y'all's commitment. But until then, man, y'all know what it is. Steve's out. If y'all got something to say, it's up to y'all.
PBZ out.
PBZ is out.